Doing well.
Hey
Hey
YouTubers,
YouTubers, Raven here,
Starfire.
and today we're bringing you the last review of the Outpost.
Sadness.
Cry.
The last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I already miss my Talon.
Me too.
Ugh, I miss her already.
Yeah,
What is life gonna be like without her?
I know, right? So 412 was called The Betrayer, and 413 was called Nothing Lasts Forever.
I like that in 412, they he finally told them that he was like a progenitor,
Mm-hmm.
of the Black Blood race. I was like, yeah, I mean, Talon was a little fracking slow on the uptake.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever been so stupid in her life.
Yeah, I mean, I thought what we learned about Black Bloods and humans in that episode, though, like, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how that changed, like, even though Ren and Janzo wanted to save the Kavi, like, learning that they're related to the Kavi,
Mm-hmm.
like, probably through like as cousins or whatever,
Yeah.
basically, that like that made it more important to them
Mm-hmm.
to save them. Like, I think they were willing to maybe lose most of them as long as they maybe saved one female and the daughter,
Yeah.
so that the race could resume.
Right.
But when they found that out is when Ren and Janzo both really started pushing to save all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it still really bothered me that, like, when Talon came back, and she had brought Aster with her and like Luna was there too, and she was telling Garrett about it, he just immediately draws his sword.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, like Talon's right there. He walked the entire way from where he was buried with Talon at night. He could have killed her then. Like,
I know he
I
doesn't
don't know.
trust them, but like,
He never trusts her. Like, it always takes him forever to trust her. And I'm like, that's not love. So, I
no,
mean,
it's
that's a
not. And
huge
I mean,
reason why I don't support their relationship.
I did love the montage that we saw, like,
Yes.
when they were getting married and like they were asked, do you take this person for eternity? And she's like looking at him, and then they show all the stuff from season 1 and like all these moments when like everything was just new and fresh and like leading all the way up to like the current season. And yes, they had like some really great stuff, especially in the early seasons.
Yeah, before he got mind fucked.
But yeah, it's just I think ever since that happened to him, he's had a really hard time trusting people.
Yeah.
Not just Talon, but like everyone.
Right.
And so like I understand why, but if he loves Talon as much as he says he does, he should have that trust and that faith in her. And with this whole thing with the gods and the Black Bloods and all of that, like he just really has not done that. And he's just really annoyed me this season.
Yeah.
So much so. I mean,
yeah, the abandonment issues,
like if she had actually broken up with him instead of saying that she would marry him, I would have been okay with that.
Exactly. I would have been more than okay with that.
Like, as long as she was going to be queen in the end, I didn't really care what happened with that. With everything else, I just wanted her to be the queen and have her rightful place in the realm, at
Right.
the throne, and be Talon because she's badass and she's awesome.
Right.
And, you know, she doesn't need to be with somebody, but, you know, it's nice that she is, because
Right.
it's nice seeing somebody that's like her being in a relationship, because a lot of
Yeah.
times you don't see women that are of her character and strength and like all of that
Right.
kind of stuff always with people. And
Yeah,
so,
you don't get to see their vulnerability, almost like you can't
no,
have one with the other.
right.
And that's complete and utter bullshit.
I know. And that's like, that's part of the reason why that whole thing with Veronica Mars pissed me off so much too, was because they were taking away that vulnerability aspect of her having a love and having a relationship and just having to make her be all dark and like not have any happiness.
Right.
And, you know, that's not realistic, because you can be like a person who has all these jobs and is like super badass and like does all these things and still be able to maintain a relationship and have that balance of all those different kinds of things and be happy and be vulnerable and have obstacles and go through all those things. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to just be one or the other. And I like the fact that we got to see Talon in kind of all those different roles.
Yeah.
Like, we got to see her be vulnerable. We got to see her be a badass and be independent and not be with anybody for a while. And then we got to see her be with somebody. And so,
Yeah.
you know, it was nice to be able to see those layers of her character.
Right.
So,
yeah. I agree with that. It should have been someone else.
Yeah, no,
like,
I mean,
I don't even like, once Zed started liking what's her face, Nedra, like,
which was super like, sad, by the way, how she died.
Right. Like,
I was bad for him.
Like, I was like, okay, no, Zed has the hots for his childhood friend, so like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, Talon would never touch that now. And like, I was like, but she'll find someone else. Like, she can. Like, it's not like there's no one else that wants her.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
it's just hard because,
and everything.
You know,
so
from the start, they did kind of set up Garrett and Talon to be together.
They did, but you never thought it was really going to happen.
Yeah, because of his loyalty to Gwen and because of like how he felt, how he loved her, and like them knowing each other for all those years and having that history and everything.
Which made me angry, like, before the wedding, like when he I think it was 13, it might have been 12, but like, he like, how she's like, yeah, I've loved you ever since, you know, the moment I met you. And he's like, you know, it's no secret, I loved you too. It's like, but you were with Gwen. Like, don't give me that.
It's like the chemistry
you couldn't
there.
decide.
It's like there's a difference between attraction and love. Like, yes, he was most definitely attracted and into her in the beginning, like based off their chemistry and their scenes together.
Yeah, but he was currently in a relationship, in love with Gwen.
Yeah. And then Gwen got with Tobin.
Yes. Gwen made the right decision and left his ass.
And then Tobin dies.
Yeah.
And then Felista dies.
And then Tobin dies again. Gwen and Tobin die. And then Tobin dies. Like, and then Gwen dies. And then Gwen and Tobin die. And then Gwen dies. And then Tobin dies. And then
he's brought back by Felista.
Yes, and then Felista dies. And then Tobin dies.
Tobin dies.
Tobin's died 3 times this entire series.
Oh my gosh. Poor guy. I
know, right? Hey, I mean, he's one of the few that can stand up with the Winchester brothers and Buffy and say that, hey, I've died multiple times in my series.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the only one though that's not the title character.
Which one
But
of the Winchester brothers died more though, Dean or Sam?
let's be honest, totally Dean.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely has to be Dean. He was the more reckless.
He was.
Sam was just stupid.
And then of course Buffy died,
Buffy,
and then selfishly was brought back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Still angry
Yep.
about this.
Because they didn't want to end the show.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much the best part about season 6 is the musical episode.
When everyone found out that she was in heaven.
But there are some other good ones. I just like this season because, yes, it was darker, but I felt like it still had a lot of things that, you know, really represented the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think out of the entire series, that's probably one of the seasons that like still resonates with people today. It's like the most prevalent season.
Yeah. Whether they liked it or not, or whether it's controversial or not, like it's the one that sticks out the most.
Yeah, because like the feelings that they go through, especially currently with what everyone is going through.
And because that's the season that Tara dies, and that's the season where Willow really gets darker with her magic because Tara dies. And so you're seeing all this dark magic and the witch stuff. And
so you're seeing Willow like, you know, go through the grieving process. But then it's like, well, everyone has lost someone most likely within the last year,
right,
you know, that they were close to, and then like you had to go through that grieving process, so you can really identify with that season this year.
And I mean, there's some things that I don't like about it, like the way the Buffy stuff was with certain things, but I'm still Bengal. I like them better anyway. I always have. But yeah.
Death, dying multiple times. I mean, Buffy died twice.
Yeah, just the one time, I think.
No, she died in season 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. At the end of season 1, and then season 2 was like or was that the season 2 finale? Becoming.
That was season 1. I'm pretty sure that was season 1.
I think Angel the two-parter, that was season 2. That was the one where she has to kill him.
Yeah, kill the first, the first vampire.
Yeah, but I thought that was like season 2. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that was season 1. She was still a freshman.
Okay.
Yeah. So she died in season 1, and then she died in what was the gift? Season 5?
The gift was the end of season 5.
Yeah. And then the brothers died almost every season. And then you have Tobin dying at least once every season out of
they bring him back only to have him die again.
Yeah, like Tobin died 3 times out of 4 seasons. 3 out of 4 seasons he's died.
The end of season 1 was prophecy.
Yeah, she fulfilled the prophecy.
Okay.
Yeah. And then because without her doing that in season 1, then I think her name is Kendall wouldn't have shown up with Pointy, her stabby.
It's been so long since I've seen the first season.
Girl, you've seen it more recently than I have.
Yeah, but we had started off watching the first season together. And then I was watching season 2 and like up to season 3, and then I had stopped for a while. And then 4 through 7, I watched with like somebody else. And her and I watched Buffy and Angel up until we finished both of them. But yeah, I just remember Becoming was the end of season 2, that 2-parter where she kills Angel. Yeah. And you know, sends him back through the portal.
Yeah. So that didn't have anything to do with the first, and she died fighting the first.
I couldn't remember. I knew that had something to do with death.
Yeah, she died fighting the first because it was the prophecy that her death would release him. Yeah. She died, and then that was the only way that he could be killed was after he was released. He couldn't be killed before.
Okay.
So the prophecy was that she would die to release him, but I guess like the prophecy was like never fully like foretold or like translated, and they just like stopped, and then she came back because like they didn't do anything to bring her back. She just came back, so that had to have been part of the prophecy.
I see.
I mean, wait, no, Xander gave her mouth to mouth.
Yeah, like it's like
so
literally
they brought her back.
Season 1 I watched probably 2014.
Yeah,
so it's been like 7 years since I've seen
Xander gave her mouth to mouth to bring her back. So yeah, I mean, she would have been like either her or the next Slayer, Kendall, I think, would have been the one to kill him.
Yeah,
but the Slayer had to die in order to free him.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
but anyway, yeah, I mean, all the death. I felt so bad for Nedra. I felt so bad for Zed.
Zed, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Nedra a lot, especially once Ren stood up to her.
Yeah, like I started liking her, you know, within the last few episodes before that happened.
And then like I like once she told Zed what was really bothering her, you know, like I liked her more because like I was able to fully understand what was going on with her, even though I knew what it was. Like hearing it helped me.
Yeah.
And then like Talon taking all the blame for it, like that opened them up to being able to have a relationship.
Yeah.
And
it did. But Lolita and Munt are so cute.
They are. Oh my gosh.
I love them. Adorable.
Yes.
It's like an ogre and a barmaid. It's like so cute.
Not that ogres are cute, but
no, but like because he's this big stocky guy, and she's just like thin, beautiful, like almost like dainty princess type, and he's just this big, gruff, dumb guy that's got a freaking like mallet,
right?
And he like loves her. It's adorable.
It is. It really is.
But yeah, so it really kind of puts things into perspective with Aster and like what we learn about the Blackbloods and humans because he's an ancestor. And, you know, he betrayed them and he married a woman who was human. And, you know, the first Blackblood came from him. And so, or first of that, you know, the rest of the race.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, it was just really interesting learning that because like the whole time they've been trying to coexist with humans and Blackbloods together. And then we learn that, you know,
they're the same. They're the same.
Yeah, that they have been doing that. They did do that. Like, so
they coexisted in the past. They're related. Like
so it's just, I don't know. That was really cool.
But I love that Ren was just like, we're a mixture of the gods and humans. And our baby's going to be a different race too. I was like, yes. Like, yes. Your baby's going to be 1/3 God. Like, come on.
I'm really disappointed that's one of the few things I'm disappointed about is that we don't get to see that we don't get to see Ren and Janzo's child.
Right. But I wanted to know whether it was a boy or girl.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that happen. But everything else I was okay with. Like I was satisfied with that. But I really just wish that we could have gotten that too.
Yeah. You know, out of all the seasons that we've been saying the closing, always keep fighting for what you believe in. I think this episode was actually truly the epitome of that.
Definitely.
Like how Ren and Janser just stood. They were like, no.
Oh,
like,
in the finale or the one before that?
Like both of them. Like once they found out the truth, they were like, we're gonna figure this out. And then like they're like, yeah, no, like we wanted to do this from day one. And once they convinced Marvin to be a good guy, they're like, we want to save everyone. We want to save all of them. They've been fighting since that moment to try and save them.
Yeah.
And then like they stood against Talon. And that's not something they've ever really done.
No.
And they were like, no, you listen, bitch. Like, we're saving these people.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I loved how Talon was too. Like, when I was watching the scene where she was like defeating all the gods, I'm like,
yeah.
Yes, girl, yes. Like, I was so excited while she was doing that. Cause, I was like, this last woman, she's going to be like the hardest to defeat.
Right?
He's the one who's got all of this power, and she's like making things fly and try to hit them and knock them over, and
she's leading all the other gods. She's got to have something up her sleeve.
So she's like the one that's going to be hardest to kill, or not kill, but like defeat. And when she did, I was like, yes.
Right? Like the second like she defeated her, like, wait, that's it. Like, dude, not gonna lie, when she like went after she got like the sword thrown in her gut, like low key my mind straight up flashed to Harry Potter, the final Harry Potter, right? 7 part 2, when Molly Weasley goes, not my kid, you bitch, and freezes
oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, and like then like sucks like all the air, whatever the fuck, out of her system, and then like she explodes. Like I was like, dude, the pose and everything. I was like, is this Harry Potter?
Yeah.
And then Talon just walks up to her and goes, I'm taking back my sword. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I like how she just pulls it out and she just takes it and puts it back.
Yeah. And then Luna walks up and says, you owe me a sword.
Luna was kicking butt too. Like,
yes.
I was impressed.
You can tell she was like, I'm scared. I want to close it. I'm scared. I want to close it. I need to close it. Like, I'm so scared. I need to close it. I need to close it. And then she saw Talon. She's like, I can't close it. Like, this is not going to happen. I'm not letting Talon go. And I was like, yes, girl. Yes. Yes.
I'm really glad that she was brought on, because she's been such an interesting character to learn about and to get to know. And, she's gone through so much at such a young age. And Talon has really been that mentor for her.
Right.
And so just seeing that friendship and that bond with them, and like how Talon sees a lot of herself in Luna, like it just, I don't know. It's been a really nice story to see this season.
Yeah. So. I like that Luna still agrees with me. He doesn't deserve her.
He doesn't.
He really doesn't. On with King Garrett. Fuck you.
Well, what did Zed say to her when she said that? He said something like,
yeah, he said, no, I think he actually does. I'm like, no, bitch. No. You go cry in your hole, your girlfriend's dead. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, your girlfriend be dead, but like, he does not deserve her.
Both been saying this, but I really think if things had been different for him and for his character, I would have been more happy about them being together and ultimately
Mhm.
getting married.
Yeah. If
But
he was able to deal more with what they did to him in mid season 2, then I would have been fine with it.
he needs to be able to be open and trusting. Like, you can't have an honest relationship with a person if there's no trust and faith there in that person.
Mhm. Yeah.
And the fact that, like, oh, automatically he sees this black blood god and he's like, I need to draw my sword and kill him. It's like, maybe there's a reason why Talon brought him, and maybe if you actually listen to what she had to say instead of automatically just assuming the worst, then
Mhm.
you'd actually learn something.
Yeah, like he trusted her more in season 1 and the beginning of season 2 than he has ever since he came back from the Capitol. And I'm like, you knew her less than you do now. You trusted her in season 1 with Gwen's life. Like, I mean, if that's not trust, what the fuck is?
I think ever since that the whole mine thing happened to him, and ever since, which was part of it, he had to try to kill Talon.
Mhm.
I think that's really just messed him up.
Yeah.
Like, I know they don't show it on the show, but it's almost like he still has PTSD over that
Mhm.
in a way. Because
Yeah.
why would he be so paranoid about these gods and about these things and just having to get rid of them and kill them if there wasn't something
Mhm.
that some underlying thing that he still had to deal
Yeah.
with?
Exactly. Like,
It just doesn't make sense to me for him to
Talon
just be
rushed
so
him.
hostile about them.
Mhm. I think Talon rushed him, and he never took a step back from that when he should have. It
Well, I
would have
think,
been more healthy for the relationship and more healthy for him,
mhm,
because he's had to push it down ever since he got back. He was never able to rest and recoup himself,
yeah,
because almost as soon as he got back from that, like, he was put in prison. He
mhm,
was experimented on to fix his mind, like, and then after all that, like, the freaking black bloods, like, come and take over the city, the village, and set them all to work
right.
in the mines and shit. Like, he never got a break. He never got to focus on himself and figure out
Like, I
what
think
was
he should have
wrong and
just
how to fix
taken a
himself.
season to just, like, really work on that and, like, deal with it
Mm-hmm.
instead of getting with Talon, because it yeah, it was very rushed, and I think that there's a lot of things that he needs to deal with and, like, fix and heal. So, in a way, it's probably good that it's ending here, because then we don't have to spend another season dealing with them fighting and, like, all these things going on, because he
Right.
can deal with the stuff that he should have dealt with before and, like,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff, because then we'd probably be spending the rest of it just ranting about Garrett
Right.
like we did with
Yeah.
Jefferson on Black Lightning.
So much so that we just stopped.
I mean, I think the title for the last episode is very fitting. Like, nothing lasts forever is true. Nothing does
Yes.
last forever. And, even though they weren't necessarily planning on this being the end, I think the way that it ended up ending was very satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that there wasn't a cliffhanger. I'm glad that, like, even though they weren't planning on it being the end, they still kind of gave it an ending. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was more of an open ending, but they gave it an ending, essentially.
Right.
And, because that, like, now that she's queen, things are going to get better in the realm. And, like, they're going to start to work together and, like,
Mm-hmm.
be able to be together and coexist and be back to how it was in the beginning with their people.
Yeah.
And so,
And then they're going to have to, like, Talon's never going to move to the capital. She's going to stay at the Outpost.
mhm,
So the Outpost is going to become the new capital. I would have liked to see the Outpost grow and become the capital,
yeah.
Like to see the transformation from an actual outpost to a capital city
Oh yeah.
would have been intriguing.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, and because they are an outpost, they would have to deal with the Grayskins again.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to have to deal with the Grayskins again. Like we didn't get enough of that in season 1. Or season, I think they were still around in season 2. Not much, but still there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we should have gotten some sort of like, I think that if they continued, we would have gotten more with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they kind of finished everything they could do with Black Bloods.
Yeah.
So we would have to go back to the Grayskins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I don't know. It would be interesting.
it would. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that we got that. And in a way, it's almost very Merlin like, because Gwen became queen in that, Guinevere.
Mm-hmm.
And Arthur Gwen.
Yeah.
But of course the last freaking 5 minutes or last 2 minutes of that last episode was stupid. But the rest of it was good.
If you turn it off before that happens, then it's a great series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the finale had more going on than the previous episode did, but
yeah, episode 12 was more of setup.
Yeah, for the end.
And yeah.
And the fact that like when Talon, when Aster was telling her that this is the only way she can do it, like she has to be the one to kill them and confront the gods, and she's like, I can't do that. Like, how am I gonna, and then he shows her and gives her that kinge, or she still has the kinge, right?
No, like the only way she can take the kinge back is to kill him. So
yeah. And so, and she's like, I can't do that, I can't do that to you. Freaking cat, stop it. Then, she ends up having to, and then she's able to kill them and do that. August,
right.
Stop. You won't stop unless I let you in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talon looked so amazing in that dress.
She did. Like
I like that
her hair kind was all curled and like she just looked so beautiful.
She did. Like, although not gonna lie, when she first walked out, I'm like, why is she wearing an outfit from the gods? I mean, did you see that it looked like that?
Kind of. Except theirs were more they were more gray.
More gray,
hers
but
was blue and
I thought it was more white.
White and blue. Blue and white. Like
I liked that she had that her shawl was the same shawl that, like, not the same shawl obviously, but like cut from the same cloth as the shawl that they draped over Aster's body. So it's like, besides the kinge, she was carrying Aster with her and he was standing with her.
Something borrowed, something blue, type of. And then I love how when, Zed went to go check on her, he like they focused in on the crown. And then like after they're married, he like was holding it, and then like, she put, he put like, I'll live the queen.
Yes.
He's like, I will be your queen if you want me to be.
Right. And then he's like, long live the queen. Like,
Garrett still should have gotten a haircut though.
Yes. Holy hell. He looks so much cuter without that hair.
He should have cleaned himself up. Like, he should have gotten his hair cut for their freaking wedding, okay?
Like,
I mean,
I can't even with that boy.
Sometimes that looks good on people, like that
Right.
longer hair a little bit on guys, but like, you know, when it starts to get kind of like a mullet almost, where you're having to like
Seriously.
comb back your hair because it's getting like so long in the front, maybe time to cut your hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He looked cuter with it short anyways.
He did. In the early seasons, it looked good on him.
Mm-hmm. It did.
Yeah. So I think aside from not being able to see Janzo and Ren's child, pretty much everything else in the episode was satisfying, at least for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I was essentially satisfied with everything. I mean, except the wedding.
yeah.
But I want her to be happy, and with the show ending, she's not gonna find anyone else.
No.
So she's happy with Garrett, and fuck.
I mean,
whatever.
if she's willing to handle all that baggage and willing to help him, if you know it ended up coming to that, then that's great.
Yeah. Yep. Because what's another unstable, unhinged king? I mean, the world's already survived this long with all the unstable rulers.
Well, I mean, history has shown that the UK and Europe have done better whenever they've had, or especially the UK and England, have done better when they've had a queen reigning than a king reigning.
Yes. I mean, they stated as much in The Crown.
I think that's why
she was announced.
Yeah, I think that's why Elizabeth is trying to like stay alive as long as possible because she doesn't want Charles to be king.
No, let's not.
I mean, William would be a far better king than Charles. Let's just be real. Probably.
Most likely.
Because he's been preparing for that his whole life. Because he's been heir to the throne.
Right.
You know, not heir to he's been after Charles, he would have been the next heir. And so, you know, he that's a role that he's like literally been preparing for all his life. So whether he's good at it or not, he's gonna at least know what he's supposed to do. Like he's a lot more duty oriented. And so and Charles, he's already in his 70s. Like he probably wouldn't even be able to rule that long. And who knows if he even really wants to at this point, because
right,
the royal family should just end.
I think at this point it's more just patriotism than anything.
It's all for show, really.
I
mean, everybody here is so fascinated by their lives, but really it's steeped in scandal and it's steeped in all these kinds of things because they're the royal family, so they have to do things, you know, the crown literally shows those things. And
right, it's like you don't get to be yourself anymore.
I mean, yes, it's a dramatization, but essentially a lot of those things are true. And
right, the crown comes first.
Yeah, and so I believe Talon will be a good queen.
Yeah,
but I don't know about Garrett.
No.
So yeah. And then Legends came back on Wednesday for season 7. Haven't yet to watch that episode yet.
Right. I have to watch the finale first.
But Supergirl has been really good.
I really can't wait to catch up on that.
In the last episode, like, well, there's this little girl that Kelly has been helping who is like in foster care, and it turned out
that's why she's been off the show for so long.
No, like she's been in the episodes. She just like seeing a lot of the things that were going on. You'll see as you watch them, but that really is what kind of motivated her to finally do the Guardian stuff. And in like one of the most recent episodes, these people were because Nixley has come back and she's trying to get the totems. And she has like had one of the totems, so they were trying to get it back from her and all this stuff. And Supergirl had like failed in her mission, so then like the power went to Nixley, and all these people were being affected, and they were fighting each other, and there was violence everywhere.
Mhm.
And this little girl who Kelly was kind of like checking in on, she has had these powers because when this guy like came and kind of attacked like the mom and her, she like had these fire breathing powers kind of, and I guess it scared the adult, and so they were going to send her back to the social worker. And I was thinking, I bet that Alex and
They're
Kelly
gonna adopt her.
And so I'm like, I'm calling it right now.
Right, yeah.
Look like one of
like not even having watched it, they're totally gonna adopt her.
Yeah, and it's like looking at some, I think one of the upcoming episodes, it says that like Alex was trying to propose to her, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I mean, they know that it's ending, and they promised us that Kelly would be the last one, so we knew it was coming, whether or not we liked the character.
Yeah, it's the one that's, I believe, in a thing called Love. So it's episode 17. So it's not next week's episode, but the following week's episode. And it says she makes plans for the perfect proposal to Kelly, but work keeps getting in the way. So, I mean, I've gotten to where I really like Kelly a lot more than I did.
Yeah, like I like Kelly a lot.
I'm fine with her and Alex, you know, being endgame.
I just wish she was a better actress.
She's gotten better though.
She's gotten better, but she's still not on par with Kylie.
I mean, like that one episode, I think it was 2 episodes ago, was the one where she comes out as Guardian and is wearing the suit and everything. That was a really like important episode and a really good one, because it really kind of like she was struggling and she was really dealing with all the stuff that like her people go through and like that kind of thing. And so that's a lot of what's motivated her to go out and help people too.
The same thing that motivated James.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of really been neat to see that. Because, you know, there was a lot of lead up to that. And then she finally is Guardian now. And it's just like, yay, you get to see her actually having that role more. And so, yeah. But the legends are stuck in 1925, I believe.
Didn't we already do the 1920s?
I don't know, but I think that's what it said in the trailer.
Well,
in the promo.
Yeah. We're gonna give Legends 2 episodes? I think
we were gonna like watch the first maybe 2-3 episodes of season 7 and see like if it's better than season 6. And then if, you know, we want to continue, we will review. If not, then we won't.
Yeah.
And we'll just watch them. I can't believe that there's 5 more episodes of Supergirl left.
And then it'll be over, just like this show.
I know. Sad. It's so sad. Everything's ending.
It is. We went from 5 to 4 to 3, and now we're going to be going down to 2, possibly just the 1.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully season 7 is better. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Because Sarah is still not Sarah anymore. Do you want to get out now? What are you? No, don't rip the poster, dude. Hey. You have to step on your paw. Jeez Louise.
Ay.
Anyway, yeah. So I guess we'll just see what happens with that. But the Supergirl finale is going to be a 2-hour finale. So they're going to air episode 19 and 20 the same night. And then the week after is when the Flash season 8 premieres. So, yeah.
Okay.
Because November 9th is the end, is the finale for Supergirl, and then the 16th is season 8 of The Flash.
Okay. So
Yep. I can't say it till next time because it's over.
I know. So I guess until we see you again.
Yeah. Always
Keep fighting for what you believe in.
Bye.
Bye.